It's always a good week when we get to do some midweek NBL Live. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight on this Wednesday evening. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, the Commish Bomber. We've got a great show coming up for you. Before we get there, of course, we have our NBL Live pregame show brought to you each and every week by our graphic sponsor, Web3KS.com. We talk about them every week here on NBL Live, how much they do for the entire NBL network. If you or anyone you know needs graphics done for a really affordable price, hit up Web3KS.com. Let them know NBL sent you. You'll get 15% off your entire order. Web3KS.com, the leaders in affordable graphic design. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. NBL Live broadcast 260. We got a great show coming up. It was supposed to be an NBL Super Show. Bomber, I think for the first time in the history of NBL Live, we don't have an NBL Super Show. We had to cancel a game on NBL Live due to a legit owner injury.
Yeah, it looks like Jamie's injury rating might be suffering here. We have actual owner attributes. If we had him, he would probably go from somewhere in the 90s to about 85 now. He had an incident with a knife in his hand and opening a package. So he's in the ER right now, but he's fine. He's doing well. He's gonna be all right. So no concern there. Just not able to make the game tonight, so he's going to have to take that forced loss, unfortunately. But we are keeping him in our thoughts.
But we do have a great game on tap for you tonight. Bears and Cowboys, two power teams. Two teams looking for a little playoff positioning and a matchup we could see in the playoffs. Two very good teams. But yes, our thoughts out with Jamie right now. Well, he's getting stitched up. Rest of us is saying he's got injury of 55. It might be true, but he'll fight back. The real question is, will that affect him in Week 17? That's the real question, if he can hold that controller correctly. Let's get to our players to watch for today's game between the Bears and the Cowboys. And let's start out with the Cowboys quarterback, Dak Prescott. He's got a quarterback rating this year of 123.5, 3,700 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. Bomber, we've talked about the Cowboys a lot. They've been on NBL Live a ton this year, and we talked about really the resurgence of this Dallas Cowboys passing attack. Here's the question I'm posing to you. You look at the NBL as we go into the playoffs. Are the Dallas Cowboys the favorite to come out of the NFC right now? And do you think the Dallas Cowboys will be that team representing the NFC this season?
There's two teams I look at to take down the Dallas Cowboys, and one's playing them tonight, and one played them last week on NBL Live. That was the New York Giants. Right now, I look at those two teams. I still lean towards the Dallas Cowboys because they have the pedigree. They have the poise, the confidence in the clutch. They've been there before. They've been there twice before this Madden cycle. So we need to see them come through with a dub. And I think their fans want to see it. I think the ownership wants to see it. I think this might be their year. But yeah, I think they're the favorites right now. But if Chicago comes out tonight and just manhandles them, we might say, you know what? Maybe Chicago's the real deal.
And if you want to talk about a team that defensively does a lot of different things, is so good at reading the offense, that's what this Bears team can do. And defensively, I mean, Roquan Smith is having an unbelievable season. 64 tackles, top 5 in the NBL in tackles. He has 8 sacks. He has 2 picks. He has 4 forced fumbles. Bomber, this guy is all over the field for the Bears defense. You and I were actually talking a couple of days ago on the phone, and we were talking about how impressed we are with owner Draco of the Chicago Bears and how good he is at recognizing tendencies in the offense. And I think I mean, disagree with me if you think I'm wrong. I think he may be the best play caller in the NBL.
He's up there. Defensively, I don't think anybody really comes close to him defensively. He picks up tendencies, and it isn't just play calling through one game. It's play calling throughout a series of games. When you play him multiple times, he's adaptive. He's very smart and very fun to play against. And if there is one competitor I play against that I can actually root for and say, man, he really does deserve this, and I would love to see him go on a playoff run, it's Draco, man. He's a great guy. We've known him for a long time in the NBL. Absolutely love the kid, and he's gotten a lot better at the game. And he's got Roquan Smith in the middle of the field. I mean, this guy's 89 speed, 95 excel, 93 zone coverage, 81 man coverage, 92 awareness, 89 play rec, block sheds 96, tackles 99. This guy's a 99 overall, and guess how old he is, OSU? 23 years young. He's going to hopefully... he asked for a lot of money, and he needs to break the bank. He'll be worth every penny, whatever he asks for, but this should be the highest paid middle linebacker in NBL history in about 2 seasons. So we'll see NBL season 38, I believe, 37, 38. He's going to need to get an extension. I want to see what Chicago's going to pay him, because they need to pay this guy, because this guy's the centerpiece of that defense.
And man, it's always good to see guys having success with their hometown teams, too. That makes it so much fun, because we know Draco, big Bears fan. Let's take a look at our Bleacher Report picks for tonight's game. Again, ignore the top side, although I hope Timbo and Unisolated don't get credit for picking the Saints, even though they're getting the forced win. I hope we get no credit over there. Looking at this game, again, Draco not picking as he is a part of this one. Everyone going with the Cowboys except for old Timbo. And I saw in the chat, Bomber, Z-Star recognized that in network chat, saw the graphic post, and he said, man, when the guy who is 2-7 picks against you, you feel good about your chances. Let's get to your prediction. How do you see
2-7? What is? Oh, we're keeping records on
the bottom side.
Well, that's what happens when you go for the just to be different mentality of all times. It can backfire against you, especially in situations where you're picking a complete underdog. What's the prize if they whoever finishes at the top? Is there a prize here?
They get to run Bleacher Report.
Oh, is that a prize?
That's the
well, we
prize.
should also we should actually do it the other way. I think whoever gets last place in this gets like a real bad penalty to something, and then we'll see the just to be different picks start watering out. I bet you we'll see a lot less of them.
Yeah, you get the anti-prize, which is you have to keep participation every night. Like, good luck, have fun.
The Porter Award.
Oh, it's the Porter Award. Let's get to the predictions for tonight's game, guys. Get them in the chat. We'll be watching that all night. Bomber, who do you like in this matchup? Bears, Cowboys, two teams looking to make noise as they get towards the end of the year. Momentum going into the playoffs. How do you see this one going in Dallas?
This is going to be a close game, at least at the beginning of the game. I think it's going to be real back and forth. It's probably going to trick us into believing this is going to be a game that comes down to a field goal. But I think second half Zeke shows his head at home. The Dallas Cowboys, you know, a common theme with me, I always take the home team. I think the Bears are a lot better at home than they are on the road, even though they've been phenomenal on the road this season. I just believe that the Cowboys get a couple big runs, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on the rookie quarterback for the Chicago Bears, Marquise Neal. He's got over 3,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, but this is going to be a big test tonight against some fast linebackers in Dallas, some great defense. You got Byron Jones. I think he's second in the league in deflections at the cornerback position. This guy's been phenomenal. Let's see if second half Zeke shows his head, and if he does, I got the Cowboys winning this 35-20.
Should be a really great matchup. We always like to have the super shows. Unfortunately, that couldn't happen, but it's nice to have a matchup here of playoff teams, and we're getting down to it. Week 16. This is the ending game of the week. We head to week 17 tonight, so let's get this bad boy underway. Coming up next, a battle between two of the NFC powers with Super Bowl aspirations. It's the Bears and the Cowboys. It's week 16. Broadcast 260 coming up right now here on NBL Live.
I just want to say, hey, man, this is T.O., the cover athlete of the Madden 19 Hall of Fame edition, and you're watching the gold standard of the franchise mode, the MBL Network. Holla.
And we are live, NBL Live broadcast 260 here on the NBL Network, and we got a doozy of a matchup here in Week 16. Two teams, these guys feel like they can win a championship this season. It's the Chicago Bears taking on the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. Should be a fun game. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us on this Wednesday night. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man Bomber. Bomber, I think the Chicago Bears right now, they might be the most underrated team in the NBL because this is a team consistently 10, 11, 12 wins under Draco in this cycle in a tough division, in a tough conference, and they seem to find their way out. Can the Bears get over that hump, though, in the playoffs and find a way to actually have some success and maybe put a trophy on that mantle?
Well, that's always been the knock on them, OSU, is offensively. Can they put up enough points? We usually see a point differential that we like defensively. We see them giving up 11 to 13 points per game. That's where they're normally at. This year they had 11, which is first in the NBL. But their offense is usually 16 to 18, right? This year it's at 24. I like what I'm seeing from Chicago. I usually tell Draco, I want to root for you, man, but I just know you can't win it all because you can't score enough points. This year he's kind of turning the corner with the rookie quarterback, kind of new offensive scheme. I think they can get it rocking and rolling early in this game, and maybe that'll be enough confidence to withhold that second half Zeke, because he's already off to a nice run right there of 12 yards.
Let's see some of the predictions coming in the chat. Colby joined us tonight saying 24-23 Cowboys. Hound going 17-10 Cowboys. Shutson Gray saying 24-20 Cowboys. Also predicting a Saints win 31-20. Bold move picking against the win we already know is coming. Motor saying Dallas 24-13. Looks like the chat's going very heavy for the Dallas Cowboys. Eric G, 28-24 Bears. And unlike the rumors that were started here on MBL Live, the Eric G fan club is still rolling fine. He apologized. We had a good talk. We had a heart-to-heart, Bomber, and the friendship is back. The fan club is alive.
I mean, until the Falcons play again and he picks against you.
Sure, that's fair. And then it'll be gone
that's
again.
The longevity of that relationship. Eric G, don't make the same mistake twice, right?
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, I'll come to your house and burn it down. As Zeke Elliott with the carry there, and so far, Bomber, Dallas, very concerted effort getting that run game going.
And do we look at the Chicago Bears right now and say, okay, that's just not the defense we're used to? No, that's exactly the defense. Hands on him at the line of scrimmage. Zeke Elliott just does what he does. He's a freak. He just falls forward. He breaks tackles. He makes something out of nothing, and he did it right there because really there was nothing there, and this is a very well-tackling Chicago Bears defense. I expect them to kind of adjust, but once again, Zeke's going to be Zeke.
Yeah, and I think as we talked about Draco being such a good play caller defensively, you do notice in some of these games, Bomber, the Bears maybe give up a touchdown early, give up some yards early, but second half it gets locked down once he figures out those tendencies.
Yeah, absolutely. He starts picking away and figuring out what the defense is going to be doing and picking up tendencies on both sides of the ball. That's what he does best, but right now it seems like the Dallas Cowboys kind of are going to come out with this power run mindset, and maybe that draws the defense in to take a deep shot over the top. You got Randall Cobb, you got Allen Hurns, and you also had the man they brought in from San Francisco, Pettis.
And how about Will Tye with the catch on the right side? A little floating on that corner route. I didn't know if it was going to get down in time before the safety closed down, but that streak route on the right side pulled the safety deep. And that corner route, Bomber, Dak Prescott, that's a throw he didn't have last season.
Yeah, that's not really the greatest throw right there. Ball hung in the air just a little bit. You notice the Chicago Bears defense comes off the ball and makes a play. They're very fast at getting to the ball once the ball leaves the quarterback's hands. You saw it right there. Dak Prescott just did a great job with precision. And like you said, that ball dropped nice.
Filthy. And that was an easy touchdown, a post route to Randall Cobb. And Bomber, that's actually really poor safety play from the Chicago Bears. Backside of the secondary getting tested, and they haven't been able to make a play so far right there. The safety in that cover three drops way back inside of the end zone. Cobb catches it at the 3, little spin cycle, and Dallas with an early 7-0 lead.
Yeah, you got to start wondering right now. The Chicago Bears kind of fell into the trap of thinking it's going to be a run, and the Dallas Cowboys are able just to drive the ball down the field. Let's just see if the Chicago Bears offense can kind of respond. I was thinking maybe they hold them to 3 on the first drive. They play a little field goal back and forth game. Then Dallas really breaks it open. Chicago Bears are not the best team when they play from behind. Let's just see how this game plays out. NBL Live Broadcast 260.
Should everybody hanging out with us in the chat. Rick Fleur saying 21-20 Bears. Captain Planet in the chat saying answer back. Let's see if the Bears can do that. Shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the right side, 1 over the left side. That is Allen Robinson alone on the left side of that formation. First and 10, dropping back to pass is Neal. Stepping up in the pocket, only a 3-man rush from the Cowboys. It's a quick throw underneath. Boy, he had the A route on that dig open behind the first down line, but Neal takes the safe throw, dumps it off underneath, and picks up 5 yards.
Yeah, nice little pitch and catch there. Kind of put some air underneath it. I thought he was going to go to the second level. He had 2 ends coming across the field. I thought he was going to wait for it, maybe high pass it over the user. Decides to just check down underneath, pick up the 5 yards, and that's what the Bears do. They're going to kill you with the monotonous play calling, the underneath play calling, and then they'll boom you over the top.
Second down and 5, dropping back to pass is Neal. Stepping up in the pocket, 4-man rush from the Dallas Cowboys. Rolling out to the right side. He's got wide open down the field, throws it down to him. It's Taylor Gabriel, but he can't hang on to it. Takes a big hit at the 40-yard line. That's just a little bit of late recognition there from the rookie Neal. And now Chicago, he's going to have to pick up a big 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that was nice recognition by Marquise Neal right there, OSU. We're talking about a rookie quarterback right here. This was a kid that came in, the expectations were just kind of, I don't know. It wasn't too much, it wasn't too high. You didn't know what you were going to get, but right there, rolling out of the pocket, making a beautiful throw. That probably should have been caught.
3rd down and 5, 3 wide receivers for Neal. Drops back, another 4-man rush from the Dallas Cowboys. Waiting, looking, a little comeback route, and that's Allen Robinson. Oh, that was a nice route, and a great throw from Neal, who's got a little zip on that throw. Picking up the first down of the 47-yard line. Bomber right now. The Dallas Cowboys not showing a ton of pressure defensively.
Yeah, if you don't get pressure to the quarterback, that deep comeback will burn you in man coverage, and that's courtesy of the Dallas Cowboys. That's one out of their playbook being used against them by the Chicago Bears. But this late first-round pick in the NBL Season 35 rookie draft from Michigan State, he's been balling, Marquise Neal.
And why not finding A-Rob once again on the quick out route. Bomber, you have a fan in the chat. Under oath saying Neal is the man. I think he's pretty sure he's talking about you.
Hey, I'll take it. I can get it. Even though I don't think I'd be a late first-round pick, I'd definitely be in the top three pick, man. He does have my size.
Day one,
weight,
day
though.
two,
6'3", about 220. Oh, I'm a little smaller than that, like 225, but 6'3", 225. Hey, man, you know what? We should just put the Neil to the front and just maybe change the last name, maybe something with a W. I don't know.
If you could come up with something, guys, let us know. 1st and 10 for Neil, dropping back to pass. 4-man rush, but the pressure's about to get there. Quick throw by Neil, though, gets Robinson underneath. He is hurt, and by hurt, I mean he bounced right up after the play, and the game says he's hurt. Picking up 7 right now, a nice job by the Chicago offensive line holding off the pressure, and a nice job by Neil there. Even when the pressure got there, Bomber, he got rid of the ball before he got hit.
Well, thank you. I actually thought that might have been an interception there on the left side. It was really tight coverage, and it's those ones, if you kind of throw it behind the receiver right there, I've seen it happen multiple times where just the screen turns and you go, oh, he threw it a little bit behind him, and he gets picked because it was pretty tight coverage. Nice, tight window throw. But the Bears have done a great job inside the red zone. They're one of the best in the NBL. Let's see if they continue that trend tonight.
Hands it off to Jordan Howard, and insta shed right in the middle. Blitz right where they were running it, and down goes Jordan Howard. Now a big 3rd and 6 for the Chicago Bears. They come out. Nice drive so far, but picked up a big 3rd down earlier. Can they do it again from the 24-yard line? It is Marquise Neal in the shotgun bunch formation. 3 over to the right side, 1 over to the left side. And it's Miller alone on the left side of that formation. Neal dropping back, 3-man rush from the Dallas Cowboys. Rolling, waiting, looking. He's got RB just standing there open. And finally he recognized it, and Taylor Gabriel makes the catch at the 13-yard line. Bomber, Gabriel might have been open as much as I have ever seen a wide receiver for about 4 seconds.
Welcome to the network,
and
baby.
Neal he was just creating a little tension before he threw the ball.
Yeah, you just really have to look at this offensive line for the Chicago Bears and say, man, what a masterful job they've been able to do, even though the Cowboys are rushing 3 and rushing 4. And you'll see that with ownership of Z-Star. He doesn't like to send a ton of blitzes. He likes to have drop coverage because he's used to getting that pressure. He had Myles Garrett in Madden 18, Madden 19, he got the great defensive line with DeMarcus Lawrence. So let's see if he can kind of, and also you need to be taking shots every time I say let's see. I think I've said that like 20 times already. I'm going to try to cut that off towards the end. 2nd and 7 here for the Chicago Bears, but as I said, top 5 in the NBL inside the red zone. They always come away with points. It'd be nice to come away with a touchdown here, but even a field goal. This has been a very nice drive for the Chicago Bears.
Big shout out to the Sclam Scriber giveaway going on in the first quarter here. Sclam giving one to Dewbirds, the 30-second subscription given away by Colonel Sanders. Appreciate the love for the network. 2nd down and 7, handoff to Cohen. Not a whole lot there. Now we're going to have to pick up a 3rd and 9 and Bomber while that all happened after that pass to Taylor Gabriel. A note from the sidelines, no Allen Robinson the rest of the game with that lower back strain. It's a big loss, a tall wide receiver that really would be great inside the red zone.
Yeah, this is a guy that can get up over top of the defense. And multiple times, if I ever switch Slay off Allen Robinson, it just seems like AR knows how to get down the field, and they'll always find him on that jump ball, and he's making that spec catch one-on-one 50-50 ball. They're going to lose that right now. That might be big towards the end of the game.
Play action pass, waiting, looking, down goes Neal. The pressure finally gets there as Taco Charlton with the sack. Straight up man coverage across the board. Bomber, not a single route was going to be open. Chicago's going to have to settle for a field goal attempt. A 7-mile-an-hour win here in Jerry World. What do they got, the AC on? I thought this was an indoor stadium. The kick is up. It is good. It is 7-3. A win for the defense late for Dallas. Bomber holding them out of the end zone. Chicago's got to feel a little disappointed considering they didn't tie this game up.
Yeah, I love the man coverage call inside the red zone. That's what Dallas will do. They mix up their play calling defensively. Now, we talk about how great of a strategic defensive play caller that the Chicago Bears and Draco have been. Oh, they might be in trouble here on this kick return. No, he goes down.
Did you see Draco use the kicker the whole time and just sat back there waiting for the kick to
you know what he's trying to do? He's trying to get on that, that top 5 plays where the kicker, just gets juked and then he just dives and just face plants. I think that might be what he was looking for. You look at the Chicago Bears defense, we talked about how great they are play calling, but the Dallas Cowboys in their own right, Z-Star has been a phenomenal play caller defensively, just has a great knack for the defensive side of the field.
Prescott on 1st and 10, steps up in the pocket, looks over the middle of the field. Oh, big hit as he catches it, but it is caught at the 45-yard line. Dak 4 for 4, 68 yards as Pettis with his first catch of the game. Shout out to everybody hanging out with us in the chat. Campbell24, Motor Porter, October joining us in the chat. Happy holidays to everybody out there. This is our last, we will not have an NBL live on Friday night, so be sure to hit that follow button so you know each and every time we go live. As Dak Prescott setting up for the blitz and delivers a beautiful throw over the middle. Another spin move. Boy, they can't contain Randall Cobb right now. We won't have a broadcast on Friday, but we're getting to playoff time, so make sure you hit that follow button so you know when we go live. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, at Bomber League, at MBL Network, because that's where we will announce our game times for the playoffs. Be a little wonky as we get around Christmas time, but just make sure you follow there so you know when we are going live, and we'll have that NBL Super Bowl coming up in not too long of a time. Shotgun formation for Dak Prescott, 3 wide receivers. He drops back on 1st and 10. Waiting, looks over to the right side, and he threw that comeback way too early. Way too early.
Getting a little excited right there. Another interesting point I didn't bring up in the pregame show that I should have brought up, because I know this very well. The Chicago Bears are a heavy blitzing team. Maybe not Green Bay Packer play a heavy, but they are among the elite teams. They're probably the heaviest blitzing team.
What about New Orleans Saints Govna heavy?
Well, let's talk about the top 5 teams, top 7 teams in the league first.
Okay, sure.
They're probably at the top of those kind of guys, those kind of teams. That ain't going to work against this Dallas Cowboys. They are going to pick up blitzes, and right now you're noticing that, and now Chicago's adjusting to a drop coverage kind of defense at times, and it seems to be burning them. So this might be the kryptonite to the Bears. Just have a premium 95-plus offensive line, and you'll be all right, which is a one-of-one.
That's all you need.
That's all you need, yeah. Unfortunately, right now, only one team in the league really has that.
Well, all I want for Christmas is a 95 overall offensive line. So if anybody in the league wants to hand that over, is he start trading any of these guys yet? Can we get any of them? 1st down and 10 for Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the right side, 1 to the left side. This is where they like to look to Will tie the tight end. It's going to be Zeke Elliott over the left side, and there's a big hole, and he's going to fight through the tackle down to the 2-yard line. 4 carries, 33 yards. Bomber, I don't know about you. It's early in the game. There's still plenty of time, but so far, this vaunted Bears defense haven't stopped the pass, haven't stopped the run, haven't stopped a nosebleed so far. Dallas is tearing them apart.
Yeah, even when they blitz, they're just not getting pressure to the quarterback. The first drive seemed a little bit better than this, but if they punch in a touchdown here, this might be a rout for the Dallas Cowboys.
Hand off to Zeke Elliott over the left side. Did he get to the 1st down marker? I think he's going to be just short of it. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 1, and a big opportunity here for the Chicago defense. That one, Bomber, finally we saw a little bit of penetration by the linebackers getting in the backfield and bringing down Zeke Elliott.
Yeah, that was good penetration there. I mean, they are on the 1-yard line, though. Not much to really ask from the defense to worry about pass over the top or anything quick. It's very tight window here. Let's see if this offensive line can get some movement and push Zeke into the end zone. This will be a big stop if they can hold him to 3.
Hand off to Elliott over the left side, and he has stood up! Oh, I don't know who came over and made the tackle. It looked like the safety, Amos, maybe made the tackle on the left side. No, it was Roquan Smith, Bomber. We talked about Roquan Smith in the pregame, and right there he fills the hole as Zeke Elliott is about to be dancing in the end zone and stands him up short of the line to gain. The kick is up. It is good. It's a win for the Chicago defense as they're only down 7.
Right there, you see a play to the outside. It looks like the pressure's coming. The line does a great job of picking it up, OSU, and it becomes a one-on-one, man versus man, mano y mano. You got Zeke Elliott running downhill against Roquan Smith, and what happens? It looks like Zeke's going to push him into the end zone, but then all of a sudden, just a second gear in Smith, and it's just it's over like Rover. If you're running into him and if you think that you're running through him, you're not. He'll stop you right there, and that's a big-time stop for the Chicago Bears. Now, can their offense get on the field and drive down the field and put a touchdown on the board?
Saw already one nice drive from Chicago, but they stalled inside the 10-yard line. Neal under center, 2 wide receivers, both over to the left side. He drops back to pass on 1st and 10. Blitz coming up the middle, and real poor recognition. The rookie's got to realize the linebackers are coming from the right side. It's a sack on the play for Leighton Vander Esch. It's going to be a 2nd and long, and this is where Chicago does not want to be on 2nd down.
I told you, if you can just get Chicago playing from behind, you got an advantage here. Is right there. He had the underneath wide open. You saw Howard out the backfield leaking to the flat. OSU, he doesn't take it. Marquise Neal is looking down the field trying to drive the ball. And it's because they're down right now. They're just not settling for what's open underneath, as they did on that 2nd down.
That was a nice play. Just find the tight end underneath. Man once again. Now 3rd and 8 from a 2nd and 17. Bomber, you see this team a lot. What are you looking for Chicago on this 3rd and 8?
I'm looking for maybe this might actually be some kind of play action where they look to get down the field, maybe some kind of shot play to break a zone. But Dallas has been known to run man coverage in these situations, especially early in the game. Just see if Jalen Smith is on Roberts right there, and he just kind of tries to play a little slow right there, if he can get underneath that pass.
Dropping back is Marquise Neal on 3rd and 8, stepping up, rolling out to the right side. He's taking a shot. He's got a man deep. That's Miller, but he can't get there. It's overthrown.
Oh, jeez. You see Vander Esch play that? Oh, my gosh. How great is this kid? 55, ran stride for stride. Was it Taylor Gabriel underneath
like
that
Taylor
pass?
Gabriel, yeah.
I mean, that is the right throw by Marquise Neal. If I see a 3 high, or even if I read that as a Tampa 2 and just a dropping back linebacker, that's the shot I have to take if I'm the Chicago Bears right there. Van Der Esch just on his horse right now, just running down the field. Unlike anything I've seen at the linebacker position. What a great job there from Van Der Esch. He just stays with them, makes a play, and the quarterback had to overthrow it because the defense was so good.
I love seeing a young quarterback throwing that ball from his own 27 all the way to the opposing 15-yard line. Well, that's some arm strength right there, folks. 1st and 10, little counterplay for Zeke Elliott. Good backside pursuit by the Chicago Bears, but Roquan Smith goes down on the play. They've already lost Allen Robinson today, Bomber. Losing a defensive leader like Smith would be huge.
Yeah, and we're close to playoffs right now. We wouldn't want to see anything happen to him at this point. Because he has given the Chicago Bears user, Draco, the ability to not have to user the middle linebacker. Because you can just let him kind of roam free. And let's see how he kind of just mixes it up right now, see the adjustments he makes.
60 overall at the second sub-linebacker position. You can keep him there. Why not? He likes the guy. His last name is King. He is the king. Injuries stacking up, says Astra in the chat. And this is sort of the war of attrition, Bomber. It happens at the end of the year. You see some teams, they've played 16 weeks and players are getting a little tired. They've been hit for 16 weeks, and this is when some of those injuries sneak in, especially around playoff time.
Yeah, you go to week 16, week 17, you're feeling great like the Chicago Bears are. You're on a great pace to maybe take the NFC. You're going to win the NFC North most likely. Everything seems to be falling into your favor, and to lose a player like that could be devastating for this defense.
Who is tougher, Jamie or this Bears team? That's a tough call right now. 2nd down and 12. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 1 over the right side. Will tie the tight end on the slot on the right side. Dak Prescott.
Oh, he's gone for the playoffs.
He's looking. Oh, it's batted down.
Oh my gosh, he just lost his linebacker for the playoffs.
Oh, it's brutal. It's a brutal loss. That's a brutal loss for a Bears team. I mean, again, you never want to count a team out, especially with a guy like Draco, but man, losing a guy, I mean, I don't care. Losing any starter is brutal. Losing a guy who's that talented, Bomber, how do you recover from that mentally?
It just has to be the next man up mentality. Hopefully you have guys on your bench that have been waiting for this opportunity to play, but notice now he's going to have to use their king this entire time. You're going to know where he is as the user. He likes to use the slot corner for the blitz. That's going to kind of be taken away now because you can't really trust that linebacker in coverage in a lot of space right now.
3rd and 12 for the Dallas Cowboys. Man coming in motion. Looks like the Chicago Bears are manning up, and Z-Star recognized that. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 over to the right side on 3rd down and 12. Dropping back is Dak. Looks over to the right side. That's an easy pitch and catch. What is Fuller doing over there on Pettis? Pettis beat him off the block. Do you like the call on 3rd and 12, Bomber? Chicago not getting aggressive with a blitz, just playing straight up a cover 1.
They like the cover 1 because it takes away the slant. It makes you have to hesitate, and if their defensive line can get some pressure on the quarterback, you got a quick throw into a window that's essentially got help inside in the middle of the field, OSU. That's what they like to do this year. You run the cover 1, you're taking away the corner, you're opening the corner routes and everything outside, but you trust your corners, and you make them have to go inside to slants, posts, digs. It takes it away with the cover 1. They like that, but if you don't get pressure to the quarterback, it's not going to work.
And if your guy beats you on a slant on the right side, it doesn't get to the middle of the field.
If he beats you on literally, I don't even call that the first window. That's like the half window. If he just breaks you off that nasty, like we saw on the right side of the field, what Pettis did to Fuller, it's pretty much over.
Did Draco build did he do something on an Indian burial ground today? As Jonathan Hankins goes down, the Bears right now are I think they're channeling their inner Jamie. They all clearly have opened a package with a knife and hurt their hand. That's what I'm figuring out. As Chicago's defense just already not playing great today, they're now getting torn up with Roquan Smith and now Hankins down. 3rd and 5 for Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Shotgun formation. Drops back to pass, 4-man rush from the Chicago Bears. Prescott steps up, looks over to the left side. That's a horrible read, and the Bears defense just doesn't make a play.
And that goes back to a couple passes. We already saw one where Dak put some air underneath it, finding Will Tye. They traded for Will Tye, NBL season 33, first season of Madden 19. We covered that on BTF for a 3rd-round pick. They lobbed it up to him, and he made just a spectacular catch. And right there, that little in OSU, that was not open. It could have easily been picked.
First down and 10 for Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, putting on another drive. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the right side, 1 over to the left side. Dak Prescott dropping back on first down and 10. Blitz coming. Can they get to Dak? They don't. That was some reaction time. It looks like Hankins will be able to return. Some reaction time by the comeback over there. That throw was off target, but I think he dove for that ball once the ball hit out of bounds. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Chicago Bomber, how big would it be for them just to get a stop for their confidence?
Huge. You got to hold them to 3 here. Another touchdown on the board is going to put your quarterback, your late first-round pick, rookie quarterback from Michigan State. You went to school with them. We talked about it. Marquise Neal going to be under a lot of pressure.
Kind of a dick. I'm not going to lie. But then again, nobody hung out with. I wasn't hanging out with the football players. 2nd down and 10. Dak Prescott looks over to the right side. That one is picked off. Oh, batted and picked off by Callahan. It's going the other way. And boy, this secondary Bomber today of the Chicago Bears sort of been torn up. Haven't made a lot of stops, but right there, Callahan reads the play, gets underneath, bats it down, and says, "Thank you very much. Let me get it back to my offense."
Bryce Callahan might be the most overlooked defensive back in the NBL right now. I'm serious. If you go look at his stats and the impact he does between rushing the quarterback on slot blitzes, coverage, he does everything. He just does it really, really well, and he gets overlooked all the time. He is definitely a consideration for maybe most improved player this season in NBL Season 35.
Cougs pointing out, yes, that is true. That's what I said, Cougs. Neal is a dick. I've always said Neal's a dick. I don't like Neal a lot. Neal is awful. I just don't want to be around Neal, is what I was trying to say. 2nd down and 8 for the Chicago Bears. Gonna be Neal in the he's gonna be in the I formation. Jordan Howard at the top of that I. 2 wide receivers, 1 to each side, 1 tight end. That is Burton on the right side of that formation. 2:20 to go and counting in the first half. Hand off to Jordan Howard over the left side. Taking a leisurely stroll through that hole on the left side. It's gonna bring up a 3rd and 2.
Yeah, OSU doesn't like Neal, but
No.
Neal is a first-round pick. You got to respect the first-round picks. You got to respect him in the NBL. He's on a team that's sitting at 11-3 right now. And he's your co-host on this broadcast, so tread lightly.
Oh,
there,
that
son.
Neal. No, yeah, sure. That's who I was talking about. They're down in 2 for the Bears. Bomber, you talked about how improved this Bears offense has been this year, but today, they had the first drive went really well, but these last 2 drives, it almost seems like they're second-guessing themselves.
Hey, quick shout out in the chat to Agent Rico. He's always coming by, supporting the shows when he can. He's in the grid right now, grinding it. Appreciate your support. Really do, man. I see your name in there all the time. You're always chatting, man. You got a great participation score. Appreciate you always stopping by. What was the question, OSU?
That was a nice throw over the left side for Miller. For some reason, it feels like the play calling for the Bears offensively, it seemed a little out of sync. Like, Draco just doesn't quite know what he wants to do.
I said it earlier. When he starts playing from behind, he becomes a different player. It's almost like he's trying to not try to drive the ball down the field, but he's constantly kind of looking down the field. He's not taking what's underneath. He doesn't know really when to run the ball anymore. He just kind of loses his footing, and you're seeing it right now. If he can front run and play from ahead, there's a couple teams in the league that I like when they're ahead. They're a great front runner team. Your team is one of them, the Atlanta Falcons, the Chicago Bears. And also I like the, what was the other team I usually say is a great front runner team? It might be the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, it might be the Colts. And there is another team, I'm missing it right now, I apologize. Those are teams that are very dangerous if they got the lead throughout the game. They're very, very great play callers from ahead. And that's their strength. Right now, Chicago finds himself down, and we'll just have to find out and watch to see if maybe the Chicago Bears can kind of calm down here and get some more points on the board, and their defense can get some more stops for them.
Nice throw underneath to Burton. Picking up the first down of the air. Wow, they didn't give him the first down. I thought he very clearly had the first down, but then again, some of the calls in this game, this particular cycle, a little questionable, but they're going to get a 3rd and inches here. If you're Chicago, you're at the 42-yard line. This is territory where you are allowed to go for it. Is this 4-down territory for Chicago?
I don't think Chicago does it. I don't think they take the risk of giving up this field position right before half.
Ooh, this is interesting little play here. 3rd down and inches, shotgun formation for Neal. The blitz is coming. It's a quick throw. He got jammed the entire way. And that was a read from the start, and now Owuzie has some room. 30, 25, 20. Can Roberts get him? 10-5. Touchdown, Cowboys. Oh, boy. You talk about a team that struggles when they play from behind, and the Bears now have dug themselves into what might be their grave today, as that was a horrible throw, an easy pick, and put 6 on the board for the Cowboys. On defense, as the kick is up, it is good. It's a 2-score game with 45 seconds left in the half.
You look at this Dallas Cowboys team, and we talk a lot about the Chicago Bears defense. I think we kind of overlook. I didn't overlook it when I was covering them NBL Season 33. I thought the Dallas Cowboys defense was at the next level. It seems like they've continued to kind of build that. Even with the loss of Sean Lee, they've done a great job developing Van Der Esch. Also, Jalen Smith. Their defensive line is stout. They've re-signed all those players. They're getting pressure to the quarterback, and they're just on them like glue, OSU, on the defensive side of the ball, especially in man coverage.
Yeah, but that's been one of those things that's been a knock on Draco offensively. It was telegraphed from the beginning that was going to be a cover zero blitz. He was thrown to one place the entire time, and that was never open, as that's a horrible, horrible throw over the middle. Bomber, it looks like Draco shook right now.
Yeah, he really looks a little uncomfortable in the pocket, and you can expect this from a rookie quarterback, but he's played so well. I mean, go look at the numbers from Marquise Neal at Michigan State. He posted a lot of yards. His touchdown interception was a little suspect at times. They questioned his throw power. It's only 90. He's 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions coming into this game, but he's been struggling right now. He's been throwing at 78% completion also. Oh, it's just a totally different person we're seeing right now.
Pass underneath to Roberts. He's going to pick up the first down. Chicago still has all 3 timeouts. They will use one of those there. But Bomber, I mean, that's one of the more, that's a frustrating interception there, at least from a viewer's perspective. You see a telegraph. There obviously no high safety. It's going to be a cover zero. But right there, he only had one quick route. It was the slant on the right side that they threw the pick on. He left everything else as this long developing. I think it was a seam and in and an out route on the left side. You got to think the play calling's got to be better in that situation.
Absolutely. Has to be a lot better. Now they're forced to try to drive the ball down the field with just 30 seconds left before the end of the half with 2 timeouts.
First and 10, dropping back is Marquise Neal, and
There's
the offensive
pressure.
line hung him out to dry like a white shirt on a summer afternoon. Boy, oh boy, that shed in the middle was brutal, and now Dallas with 28 seconds and 2 timeouts. They have an opportunity to blow this bad boy open.
Yeah, so you were asking me before the game if Dallas was the front runner to come out of the NFC. Well, the answer is absolutely yes. 100% yes. If anything, it tells us anything about this first half, NBL Live broadcast 260 might have just shown us the truth right now with the Dallas Cowboys.
First down and 10 for the Cowboys. Prescott dropping back. He's floating up one-on-one coverage on the right side, and a great defense batted that one down.
Do you know who that was? Covering on who? I mean, recognize your personnel. Fuller on Zeke Elliott, and he throws a one-on-one pass. See, to me, that's just the ultimate confidence from the Dallas Cowboys quarterback and his halfback. That's how great of a star, no pun intended, this team is. They are truly talented when they can have your number one corner go against their halfback, and they're going to throw a jump ball against you.
Did Z-Star pick the Dallas Cowboys because he had the Dallas Star, he's Z-Star? Is it all for the star puns as that throw floated over there? And Bomber, this Bears defense completely outmatched in man coverage so far.
Well, then you have to ask yourself, if the Dallas Cowboys were 75 overall, would he still be looking for that punt?
Absolutely not.
So I would say no. It was more based on the team, I'd assume. But I could be wrong.
Well, now Dallas with 17 seconds left, an opportunity to go up 3 scores going into the half. First and goal. 3 wide receivers, 2 over the left side, 1 over to the right side. Theo Riddick into the game at halfback. He's on his right hip, dropping back is Dak. Looks over to the right side. Why are you diving and batting that away, you buffoon? Just catch the ball. That's the 60 overall. That's king. Not making an interception, and an easy one at that. Instead, bats it down and gives Dallas life.
So look at this Tampa 2 coverage right here. The middle of the field is very important. You always stress, do not run cover 3 inside the 10. You want to run Tampa 2, maybe some double buzz man if you're looking for coverage, or even just a, cover 1, right? You want to have something on those seams. You don't want anybody just to walk in with a seam. There's a lot of stress on that middle linebacker in the Tampa 2, and with it not being who it usually is, that's when we have issues when Smith is gone.
Second down and goal, dropping back as Prescott looks back in the end zone. That was just a straight-up high pass look, and Bomber, it wasn't really open. Now you bring up a 3rd and goal, but here's the thing, man. You sit there and say Dallas is the favorite right now, but so far, I look at this game, Dallas up 2 scores, and Dallas hasn't played great. They've played good, not great. Chicago has really gifted them a lot.
Yeah, they haven't showed up. Let's get into the chat right now. Ric Flair says 2-minute drill might have cost the Bears the game. Captain Planet says going to be all Draco in the second half. Double A says no, he's a Cowboys fan, which is a joke because Z-Star is actually a Giants fan.
He's
Great
a big
throw.
Cowboys fan.
And
Send
Coop
him
says
for
Cowboys
Christmas
fan for
all
sure.
Cowboys stuff. He wants it. He wants jerseys. He wants to look like the Dallas Star threw up on him. As a big sack, they bring the 60 overall king on the blitz, and on 4th and goal, it's a big play for Chicago as they keep Dallas out of the end zone. Problem is, Bomber, Dallas is kicking a field goal here, and assuming he makes it, it's a 17-point lead. I don't know if Chicago can score 17 points, especially while holding Dallas without scoring.
Yeah, that's the big issue. What is the Chicago Bears averaging per game? 20, what did I say, 24?
24,
Let's see.
I think is what you said.
Yeah, 24 points per game. They're 8th right now. They're only giving up 11. 24 isn't going to win you the game right now. They're on pace to score 6. So even though I think they're going to have
not
more
a great
than that,
pace. It's not a great pace. Ball's out.
Oh no.
Ball's out.
They're going to lose
picked
this.
up by the
Watch, they're going to lose this.
He was close to being down. That one might get reviewed. That one, it might get reviewed. I said might. Sometimes. I think that's
it
reviewed.
looks like he's down. I think he's down.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Listen, man.
Oh, that could have been it all falls down.
Listen,
the wheels just completely come off the bus.
I watched a safety not be a safety. I no longer question what may happen. First down and 10 is, I love, just keep changing the cameras. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. For Neal as he drops back to pass. Blitz picked up nicely by the offensive line. Miller with the catch, boy. That's frustrating watching that, Bomber, because that looked like a play that I watched that one and I think pass interference. That guy got there real early.
Yeah.
But he still made a catch in tight coverage.
Yeah, that was just a good throw with a great catch by Miller. Draco was sitting a little bit higher. Now we're back to our regularly scheduled program as he's playing from multiple camera views, it seems, right now.
Love it. Let's get to the player lock. First down and 10 for the Bears once again. Handoff to Jordan Howard over the left side. Boy, Dallas has done a nice job of containing Jordan Howard, but you go back to Bomber, a lot of it is play calling, and it sort of feels like every time Chicago has run the ball, it's been pretty obvious that they're coming out and running the ball.
Yeah, and that's usually their kind of surprise. They look like they're going to run it and they pass it, but right now it seems they've been very basic on the offensive side of the ball. Play calling, it hasn't been good, very predictable so far. Down 20-3, you kind of need to get outside of your common plays and get in your bag and try to find something that can work, get deep down the field, and see if you can put points on the board early. I need to score before the 3-minute mark. I need a touchdown, 20-10. Let's get back in this game because we know what Dallas is going to do, OSU. They're going to run the ball. That's going to eat up a lot of clock. They're going to be successful with it, and the only way you come back right now is by scoring touchdowns and scoring them fast.
Third down and 3 for the Chicago Bears. Neal in the shotgun. Looks like a full wide receiver set, 3 over to the right side, 1 over to the left side. Looks like they're setting up a screen. Boy, this is a bold play call. And he's going to be taken down. What is going on, Bomber? What's going on in the head of the Chicago native in this game? Because that just, you might as well have taken a knee on that play.
Yeah, questionable play call. Maybe a little scared right now. Had a couple tight windows. Even the way that they're moving the chains, that first pass to Miller on the left side, OSU, that was a really tight window. I'll tell you what, Draco's uncomfortable making those throws. He does not like those throws. So even though it was a successful pass and it moved the chains, he's going back to the huddle and going, sheesh, okay, we're not going to be able to drive the ball if we consistently make those kind of throws. Maybe in his head a little bit, 3rd and 3, he plays it real conservative, and conservative isn't going to work versus a power run team like the Dallas Cowboys.
First down and 10, I formation, 2 wide receivers over the left side. You got to think Zeke Elliott's about to get a ton of carries here as Dallas in control. It's a handoff to Zeke over the right side. Maybe, and here's where maybe Draco's feeling okay about this, though. This defense has played well containing Zeke Elliott after that first drive. If Dallas does get uber conservative, Bomber, and starts running the ball a lot, Chicago can get some 3 and outs and maybe play the field position game a little bit.
Jet set in the chat saying Bears are just scared to throw it down the field.
Absolutely.
That's what everyone's starting to feel
100%.
right now. I think second half Zeke might show his head here. Just one big run. This game is going to be GG's. I don't see the Bears being able to overcome a 4-score deficit. And I feel like a Zeke Elliott run is coming up huge here.
Second down 11, bunch formation now on the right side. 1 wide receiver over the left side. Zeke Elliott in the backfield for Dak Prescott. Play action for Dak as he drops back to throw. Waiting, looking. It was open the entire way. It's a first down for the Dallas Cowboys as this Bears defense looks very pedestrian. No Roquan Smith. He may be out for the playoffs with that shoulder tear. And even when Roquan Smith was out there, the Dallas Cowboys were doing a great job picking apart this defense. Again, appreciate everybody hanging out with us. A little midweek NBL Live. We got the Bears and the Cowboys, 2 playoff teams looking to get some momentum going into the playoffs, Week 16 action. Broadcast 260 here on the NBL Network. Zeke Elliott with some room. Spins back inside.
There it
Fuller
goes.
catching from behind. Flag down. That's going to be a block in the back somewhere behind the play. So they're going to lose 12 yards on it. But man, oh man, 48-yard line. Dallas up 20-3, Bomber. And this is where we wish we had a super show.
Yeah, you kind of do. I mean, we got our audience. We got up to about 53 people. 10 of them said, no way, not for me. 20-3. The Bears playing this conservative. But hey, if we had the Super Show rocking and rolling, I'm sure we'd have a little bit more talent on the field right now. A closer game.
So everyone blame Jamie for this one. Thanks a lot, Jamie. Can't even open a box effectively as that one will tie up the same 24-yard line.
Yeah, he left me a voicemail, I guess, while he was on the way to his hospital. And, like, oh, this guy seems like he's in shock right now. I mean, he must have lost like a little bit of blood, started staring at it. I mean, I've seen it happen. Being in the medical field, we see people when they start looking at a lot of blood coming out, man, it gets you kind of loopy. And that's how I felt. I was like, oh, man, I hope it wasn't his thumbs. That's the first thing I think of as a gamer. You don't want to do nothing to your thumb. You lose your thumb, OSU. I mean, that's pretty much game over, right? That's GG's if something happens to one of your thumbs.
Hey, big shout out to Sim Football Critic. Join us in the chat today, Sim. Good to see you. Happy holidays to you and your family. One of the great guys here in the community. Give Sim a shout out. Really one of the great guys. Project Fat coming over, finished up his good game. I'm sure he lost. It is a 20-3 ball game. And boy, this is the story of the Chicago Bears. I think, for lack of a better term, they pooped the bed here on live. It's been rough for the Bears. Really haven't played well defensively, offensively. He's got a guy standing in the back of the end zone, just doesn't want to throw it. So he'll take a sack as Ebicam gets in the backfield. But 3rd and 13 now for the Dallas Cowboys. Completely in control, Bomber. Now you get to, this is week 16, man. We're getting to the playoffs. You got to feel like Chicago's now going to be going into the playoffs after this matchup against a team they may face, feeling down on themselves.
And there's two teams in the NFC that I think are just bad matchups for the Chicago Bears. That doesn't make them a bad team. It's just a team that matches up very well to what they're trying to do. As, it really is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys.
Throw over the middle, tight coverage.
Oh, that's dangerous throw.
Oh, he picked up! Are you kidding me? Fuller comes over his back, picks it off, does a flip, and gets a 10 from the Russian judge as the Bears force a turnover. Once again, Bomber, we're talking about this game. Dallas has not played well. They've just been gifted turnover after turnover. Chicago's picked off Dallas now twice in the red zone, and they can't do anything with it.
Yeah, you want to talk about Kyle Fuller, 92 speed, 93 excel, 92 jumping. He's a 91 overall cornerback. They've been testing him all game. You just can't do that against a cornerback as good and talented as Kyle Fuller.
Let's go back the other way. All right.
Yeah, that was a bad pass. Another interception there for the Dallas Cowboys. Right there, you get the little stop and go. It allows them to get right on him. This is a rookie quarterback that's been crazy accurate up until tonight. And now he's facing a very great defensive Dallas Cowboys team that's often underlooked, underrated because their running game and passing game has been so great this season. They're still a top 3 defensive team in the NBL.
Big shout out to C. Rob in the chat, giving us a follow here on Twitch. Appreciate it, my friend. Happy holidays to you, Sim. Saying happy holidays, fellas. Great time here. I hope everybody has a wonderful and safe holiday season. As whatever you celebrate, we hope it is a wonderful time spending time with family. Here at the end of December as we head towards the new year. NBL Live broadcast 260 here on the NBL Network. Again, hit that follow button so you know each and every time we go live. Follow us on Twitter at Bomber League, at NBL Network. Our playoff schedule, the playoff broadcast, they'll be released there. So as we get towards Christmas time, the schedule is going to be a little less regular than usual, but you will see plenty of action, whether it's NBL Live or bonus coverage. You'll see plenty of it here on the NBL Network. Of course, then we'll have our NBL Super Bowl Bomber coming up. And then we'll be heading to next season. It seems like this season has flown by.
Yeah, it has been really quick. Shout out to Sim Football Critic. He's going to be doing a video for us for our 5-year anniversary, which is going to take place January 5th, 2019. We all know about it. Guys are sending in their videos right now. We've got it from McGraven already as Randall Cobb on the underneath route, finding his way up the field.
Yeah. By the way, Sim, he asked in the chat, which team here is fighting for the playoffs? It may not be evident from this game, but both these teams are in position for the playoffs.
They actually were fighting essentially for the number 1 seed. This was a big number 1 seed game for the Cowboys. They win this game, it's over because they're going to take that 3-game lead and have the tiebreaker over the Chicago Bears. The Bears came in here 11-3, Cowboys 13-1.
Why get fancy there? Dak Prescott just leans forward, picks up the touchdown, and Dallas in control, and we get to see the Chicago turnover machine come in. But let's go back to going into the playoffs. So now Dallas comes away. They got to play the Giants in the last week. They're came away with a big win on NBL Live last week over the Giants. They got to play them again in Week 17. But they're feeling pretty good about themselves. If you're Chicago, all that talk about you can't win a big game, can't win in the playoffs, a playoff choker, no offense.
Yeah.
It's sort of all been, if you look at one sample size today, sort of proved you feel worse now going into playoffs, even though you've had a wonderful season.
A great season, but recent losses to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and now here to the Dallas Cowboys in blowout fashion. The Chicago Bears just are not feeling very confident right now, and this is the most important time of the season. So the 77% completion percentage for Marquise Neal, the great touchdown to interception ratio, wash it all away, because the only taste he's going to have in his mouth going into Week 17 in the playoffs is how poorly he played in the big stage on NBL Live Broadcast 260 against the Dallas Cowboys. It was that bad, and it's going to be one of those performances that kind of maybe hinders his performance in the playoffs. It gets in your head, OSU. You're a young quarterback. You're out of Michigan State. Everything has been on the up and up. This is your first kind of taste of adversity, and yet here we are. We're going to see how it plays out very, very soon.
Sim in the chat says, crazy thing is we may see this game in the real world this year if the Cowboys keep it together for 2 more games. Yeah, the Cowboys have not wrapped up that playoff spot yet. That division is incredibly close, but boy, can you imagine, Bomber, this team in game if it happened, if the Khalil Mack trade happened before the season, and so Draco would be sitting there with Roquan Smith and Khalil Mack on defense.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought next year for the Bears.
That is a powerhouse defense, and they're fast. They can fly around. They can get pressure to the quarterback. They can defend. I mean, I don't like when people throw around the 85 Bears, but you can kind of do it with this team in the sense of we haven't seen it in such a long time. Anything that just gives us a little taste of that kind of dominance, we have to say, well, this is same city, same team. So, I mean, let the comparisons flow. I don't know if I'd go there just yet for the in real life Chicago Bears, but they are good. Really, really good. And Khalil Mack only just made them better. They were already good coming into the season. Young, fast, athletic, can do it all defensively, can cover anything. Now you had Khalil Mack, and it's just like, whoa, all right, maybe this is a Super Bowl contender.
And plus, you look at that division. Lions are an absolute dumpster fire. The Green Bay Packers have Aaron Rodgers and nobody else, so they're a pretty solid 6-win team. And the Minnesota Vikings, after last season, all of a sudden, they're sort of falling apart right now, even though they have weapons and Thielen and Diggs. It's just Kirk Cousins. I think, Bomber, you look at Kirk Cousins, he's sort of exactly who everyone, sort of the naysayers, thought he was. A mediocre quarterback on mediocre teams that gets benefit from players around him.
Yeah, you look at the Vikings team in real life, you wonder what they were thinking coming into this season. Did they really think that they beat the New Orleans Saints? I mean, really, is that what we took into the next year? That, we're going to bring in Kirk Cousins. That's going to upgrade our quarterback position. It took a miracle and some really unfortunate events for the New Orleans Saints to lose in that miracle play to the Minnesota Vikings last season. So I look at that and I just go, well, I mean, you're kind of where I thought you were. Schedule got a little tougher this year, and, you just are what you are. But the Bears have been the real big surprise in the NFC.
He found through a seam route. Didn't get quite to the first down, but a nice catch by Burton. Going to bring up a 4th and 4. You got to think Chicago's going for it here. Or they're just going to punt it away. They've already given up on this one. 5:01 to go. Sim saying, my Steelers beating the Patriots was our Super Bowl. Can't see us beating the Saints this week in the Dome. No way. Man, this Saints team, I mean, if they get home field advantage, I think the Saints are damn near unbeatable inside the Dome. You get them outside the Dome, I don't know. I mean, they've struggled on the road. They've struggled at times. But with the weapons that they have, and especially, man, I think you look at the powers over in the AFC. Everybody was talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. That loss of Kareem Hunt, Bomber, I think maybe bigger than people really realize it. That's a major weapon. I know Spencer Ware is a great running back, and he's very serviceable, but losing a weapon in Kareem Hunt and how they've played recently, I'm just not buying into the Chiefs as much going into the playoffs, especially how bad that defense is.
I also want to point out the whole drive the ball down the field that the Rams and the Chiefs were doing for a good part of this season, where they were very confident. That kind of confidence is great, and it just constantly builds. It was building every week. They almost seemed unbeatable, both of those teams. But then they hit a roadblock, and it kind of just messes with your timing, messes with your confidence, whether it's the blitzing rusher getting to you before you can get deep down the field. That whole feng shui of, we're going to drive the ball down the field, we're going to get over top of the defense, it kind of just makes you start second-guessing yourself, and that's the kind of thing that we're seeing right now. Even with the Rams, Jared Goff doesn't look like the Jared Goff he was looking like at the front part of the season. because the teams are starting to, one team beats you in the NFL, they start picking up those tendencies, and everybody starts adjusting the way that they play you, and you have to have an adjustment as well as an offensive, aggressive team.
Dak up 3rd and 10. He's going to lob it up. Left side has a man. Good job batting that one down. Going to bring up a 4th and 10 and a punt from the Cowboys. I look at I think the Saints, they're going to have home field advantage. I mean, somebody's got to put together a perfect game to beat them. Out of the AFC, man, I think that Chargers team is the team to beat, especially they're getting healthy now. They're going to get Melvin Gordon back for the playoffs. They're going to get Joey Bosa back. That defense comes together. Derwin James is Rookie of the Year. He has played absolutely phenomenally. They've got Phillip Rivers, I think, maybe playing his best football right now. You've got
the
a
most
run game.
underrated quarterback probably in the last 10 years. I mean, you look at his numbers. It's just crazy how much people do not. And obviously, you know, he played for San Diego, and now he's in LA. You would think they would start covering him a little bit more, but really it's just not a flashy, pretty-looking style of yards that he gets. But he's got them. If you look at his stats, they're just crazy how much you don't hear about a guy like Phillip Rivers in the mainstream. You know, we don't hear about him too much, and he's often overlooked. And it's also because he struggles to win the big game. But, man, he's put up some crazy numbers, man, especially this season. They look right. When he's led by a defense and they have, an shallow crossing kind of offense, that's when he's at his best, along with the running attack. And I think, they're one of those teams. But you just hope they don't lose that big game again, because then it'll all go back to the same old thing with Phillip Rivers, right?
I mean, we know the reason why the Chargers have been so good this year. It is Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry has been the MVP for the Chargers.
Oh, and then we got a message of Derek about, Derek Johnson.
Derek Johnson's great, too, for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he's so good he's not even there, but he's there in our hearts, and that's sort of what Derek Johnson's been.
Spiritual. He got the spiritual leader trait.
Where do you get
so he's
that?
Never left.
Can we get that in Madden, spiritual leader? Russell Wilson has it for sure.
You get a guy that retires on your team, but his impact leaves a legacy impact for the next 5 years. You get boosts, that kind of thing.
But or it could be a not positive impact. Somebody retires and it's like, finally that guy's
like
gone.
Calvin. And
Calvin goes and the Lions are like, well, we're done. See ya.
Yeah. Nothing positive came from that. If he leaves early, no one cares about this franchise. It taints your perception in your locker room for the next 2 to 3 seasons. Okay, now we're working on some magical. This is some mod tweet. This is some mod kind of traits for the PC. I think that's what we're talking about here.
Get rolling, like you play your game, and if it's a good spiritual guy who retired, somebody makes a deep pass, and all of a sudden the ghost of him appears in the back of the end zone, bats it down. Like it'd be a good mod on the Madden games.
Double A in the chat saying I miss Megatron. Yeah, me too. Especially in Madden. I mean, literally, you could just put him. He could just be on a streak nearly every play, and if there was nothing that stopped us in NBL just from streaking somebody every play, that's the one guy. If I streaked him every play, you couldn't run cover 3 because you couldn't be one-on-one on the sideline with him. He was too fast, too strong, couldn't press up on him. He probably made it an 85-15 ball instead of a 50-50 ball. He was just that good, especially in his prime.
Oh, when OBJ leaves the Giants, Rusta, that's a negative spiritual leader. He's going to try to burn the stadium down. He's going to try to beat the Mara family with his leg. I think Bree. They played in the same era for Phillip Rivers, Breeze, Brady, Manning, Rodgers. But here's the thing. Those guys being great doesn't take away from the fact that he just didn't win the big games. And Ben Roethlisberger in his prime. I'm not going to give you Eli Manning because I think Eli Manning may be the most grossly overrated quarterback other than Matthew Stafford in the league right now. But
I like both of those guys.
I think Matt Stafford is a great stat patter, but you've been in the league for 10 years and haven't won a playoff game. I'm sorry, you're not that good. I think Eli Manning has ridden the defense a lot and has been very game managing. But you look at those four guys.
You can say the same thing about Ben Roethlisberger then. When he won his championship, it was just run game and defense when he was young.
Ben Roethlisberger, the throws that Ben Roethlisberger had to make, much harder than the ones that Eli Manning. Eli Manning was a dink and dunk artist.
He threw one, a guy caught it. He said, I'm going to stick it between your helmet. Watch this.
Listen.
What if he said that? What if he said that in the huddle?
That would be awesome. Here's the play. Tyree down the field.
Would it change your perception if he was in a huddle and goes, look, man, I'm going to throw this. It's going to stick between your helmet. Just one hand and push it up against there. You'll be fine. He said that.
He'd be the greatest quarterback of all time. Greatest quarterback of all time.
Oh, that's interesting. That's
the guy who sits here. That's a hell of a call. That's more than Babe Ruth pointing. That's Babe Ruth running out to the stands and standing in row 14, seat 7, going, I'm going to hit the ball right here.
I thought it was more like the Sandlot from the movie where the guys that just put your glove up and the dude cracks into his glove.
Close your eyes. Just close your eyes. You can get it. Shout out to The Sandlot. Great movie.
If you were a character on The Sandlot, which one do you think you'd be?
I'd be the redhead dude who's
The
plays catcher. Yeah, you're damn right.
That's what I thought you'd say.
I mean, come on, let's be honest. I think Cam Newton is most overrated quarterback. He's won a
Cam's
playoff
a
game.
playmaker, though, man.
Won a playoff
that's
game.
what people don't understand. He's a playmaker. He makes big plays. Yes, he's inaccurate at times. His completion percentage is not good, but he can make the big throw and he can make the big play. So you got to look at him in that terms. He's not the conventional quarterback that's going to have these numbers. Kirk Cousins might look better than him, but there's no way I'd take Kirk Cousins over Cam Newton. No way. In his prime. As long as Cam isn't hurt. Cam's hurt right now. You can just tell.
Yeah.
Last
well,
game,
I mean, they've already shut him down.
Far.
Shout out to Lawrence in the chat with the follow. Yeah, I'm hammy in the Sandlot. Yeah. Put me at catcher. Cam is hurt. They shut him down, but no, Cam Newton has. I mean, again.
Can you say that forever?
Forever. Forever. The question is,
the only people gonna get
Z-Star
that is like the older
our
people right now.
Z-Stars are squints, right? Like he fakes drowning in the pool. Wendy Peppercorn.
He does the fake.
He's got the glasses for it. Oh yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
No, he 100% would do that. Or that'd be tout. I don't know.
No, that's Z-Star because that makes Bananas the main character, the whitest white kid ever, because that is Bananas. He is the whitest white kid in the league. As this game mercifully over, by the way. 27-3, Dallas with a statement. It just all came down to Dallas played good enough, Bomber. They didn't have to play great. The Cowboys really just played awful, and the Bears played awful, and the Cowboys just had to do enough to win, and sometimes that's what you need to do, especially here at the end of the season.
You look at this Chicago Bears team, and you think, well, you got an opportunity to make a statement game, and honestly, the Cowboys have to play the New York Giants next week. If they would have won this game, the Bears, they would have had the 1 seed if the Cowboys lost to the Giants. There was a lot on the line. The Bears came out flat in a big-time game that not only guaranteed them a bye, it guaranteed them the division, and it could have guaranteed them the number 1 seed. None of that is guaranteed anymore. Chicago Bears got to go out and win Week 17 versus the Atlanta Falcons.
So congratulations to the Chicago Bears for their Week 17 win. As we get down to the playoffs, again, folks, make sure you hit that follow button. Follow us on Twitter at Bomber League, at NBL Network. That's where we'll announce our playoff schedule. You will see tons of NBL Live Super Shows, bonus coverage. We're going to try to get as many of these games on, Bomber. It's a fun time. This is normally, as we get down towards playoff time, there's a lot of picking and choosing, but with bonus coverage with the Super Show, we've shown more games than we ever have in a season. I believe the count we're somewhere around, I want to say it's 24.
And you can include the BTF. I mean, we got.
Oh yeah, that's counting BTF. That's counting bonus coverage. That's counting NBL Live with the Super Shows. And as we get to the playoffs, I mean, our goal, as always, is to put every playoff game on that we can.
That's what we're gonna do.
It's a fun time, man. This is an awesome time as we head towards broadcast number 300. Again, folks, make sure you hit that follow button. Have a safe and happy holidays. No broadcast on Friday. We'll let you know about playoffs as we get down toward it. We're going to get out of here. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. A little midweek NBL Live for my co-host, Bomber. I am OSU. Once again, your final score from this one, the Chicago Bears get trounced by the Dallas Cowboys 27-3. We will see you next time as we get down to playoffs. Right here on NBL Live.
I just want to say, hey, man, this is T.O., the cover athlete of the Madden 19 Hall of Fame edition, and you're watching the gold standard of the franchise mode, the NBL Network. Holla.